We have a recruiting program going on right now. We call it the Military Recruiting Top Gun. Our recruiters are working every avenue they can in order to bring those military heroes, we call them, to the table.
We are here with Jerold Ramos, the Director of Strategic Recruiting at AlliedBarton, a security company with a strong commitment to hiring veterans. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much for hosting this.
Now, AlliedBarton is really a leader when it comes to hiring veterans. What kinds of numbers are you hiring at this point?
We consider leadership to be a very important part of our strategy, and right now we've hired, so far this year, 3,600 veterans. Last year we hired 4,500 of them.
Why do you think people who served in the military make excellent employees at a company like AlliedBarton specifically?
They fit very well within our culture. They both bring leadership and the ability for change to us, and that's extremely important to us because our industry constantly changes.
And they make up a really significant part of your workforce, right?
They do. We're close to 30% of our total workforce being military or military spouse related.
And recruiters get extra bonuses if they hire a certain number of military veterans?
Yes, ma'am. We require that they bring in at minimum 10% of their hires are supposed to be military related, but we incentivize even further. So all the way up to 30%, they can become a military recruiting sergeant or a military recruiting captain. And in the very top levels of military recruiting, we have the military recruiting Top Gun.
What kinds of jobs are available at a company like AlliedBarton? I know it's not just security.
Absolutely. That's one of those myths we want to demystify. We honestly believe that folks that come to our company ought to be looking at control room operator jobs, which are basically translated into IT specialists. We have people who work in control rooms that access and control billions of dollars worth of facility management systems. We also have police services, as well as fire services, as well as corporate security programs. We have a vast array of opportunities, not just the officer.
Why do you think AlliedBarton is a good fit for someone with a military background?
AlliedBarton is a good fit because we have such a changing environment, one in which if you come into our company as a security officer and want to become a supervisor or a manager, there are opportunities. If you want to go into HR or training, there are opportunities. If you're looking to get into IT or any other corporate position such as finance, those opportunities abound with us because of our growth. If you come to us with a great attitude and an ability and a desire to learn, you can learn our business.
And you have a lot of job openings right now all over the country.
Yes, ma'am, we do. We have 3,000 openings currently. You have to understand that our company is 60,000 employees strong currently, and we have offices in all of the major cities in the United States.
And what kinds of veteran success stories are you seeing at AlliedBarton?
Oh boy, there are a number of success stories. I'd like to tell one just from a couple of weeks ago. We are starting some security services for Boeing in Seattle. The biggest success that came out of that recently was that we hired 2 wounded warriors who we consider to be totally capable of doing everything that everyone else does, only the stigma that comes along with being a wounded warrior sometimes thwarts them from getting the best of jobs. We brought them in, we got them employed, and we're so happy to have the reputation that people will come to us and actually without or with training come to us so that we can help them to get into the industry.
What would you tell people in the military who are thinking about transitioning into civilian life or planning to, about how to go about finding a job at AlliedBarton?
Number one, work with your military assistance groups. The people who are helping you to transition out of the military, they're important because they, number one, know my jobs, and number two, they'll be able to help you to put together a resume and or information related to what you did in the military that will mirror what we need to or are looking for in the civilian world. So my highest suggestion is work with your military assistance groups.
And you personally are a veteran success story at AlliedBarton. Tell us about your military experience.
During the time when I was in the military, Vietnam was hot and heavy, and I was able to come out of the military with a new understanding, because I went in the military as a high school dropout, a person who was going the wrong way in Chicago as a child. The military took and changed that for me. And once I got through the military and they really taught me my life lessons, I was able to go and get an education and work in the security industry for the past 35 years and be accepted as part of the growing part of our industry. So I've been very blessed to be, and I am now very blessed to be a part of Blackstone and AlliedBarton Security Services. They've given me what I needed, and that was just a little bit of a chance.
And they can come seek your advice personally?
Absolutely. We have a military affinity group within AlliedBarton, and all of our veterans, and only veterans that are employees of ours, are able to share in that group, and we share information, we mentor others, we help them to grow in our company.
Thank you so much for telling us your story. AlliedBarton sounds like a real leader in this space. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more on Hiring America, the television show that helps veterans find jobs.